Hands down, one of my favorite memories ever. A few years ago, I was in a lovely relationship with a wonderful man from Chile. So naturally, I got to visit Chile a couple of times as well. And the very first time I visited, he'd organized this beautiful, beautiful trip for us. He decided it would be a great idea to travel north from Santiago de Chile to the Atacama Desert.
Chile's Atacama Desert, the driest non-polar desert on Earth, stretches across a roughly 600-mile tract of land, wedged between the coastal Cordillera de la Costa mountain range and the Andes Mountains. Average rainfall in this region is about 1 millimeter per year. Some locations within the desert have never had any rainfall whatsoever. The region boasts stunning geologic formations and has provided scientists with a wealth of research opportunities. The Atacama Desert is one of few locations on the globe with 300 plus days with clear skies in a year, along with no light pollution and its high altitude, making it perhaps the best place in the world for observatories.
Already landing in Chile is such an experience, and just seeing these majestic mountains at sunrise all the way from the top is absolutely magical. So while I find the Arabian desert, Abu Dhabi and such really boring, this desert has so much to offer. The Atacama Desert is a place that is so complex and versatile and full of life. We stayed in San Pedro de Atacama in a little eco-complex. So we slept in these beautiful mud huts, and I remember the top was glass. So at night you could see the stars from your bed. I mean, how great is that? And being solar powered, at 10 they turned off the electricity. So it really felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. It was so beautiful and so romantic. We did a lot of great trips. There are so many things you can do. You can go to the Moon Valley, a place that looks like you've just landed on the moon, the Green Lagoon. You can go to the Salt Plains. You can see llamas. You can go to the hot mountain springs. There is so much stuff you can do. My favorite thing, however, and this will always be such a special memory to me, I'm getting all emotional just thinking about it, was a stargazing tour. The Atacama Desert has one of the world's largest observatories with some of the largest telescopes. There was absolutely no light pollution because of course the electricity had been turned off everywhere. There was no moon. We could see all of the stars. We were collected by the guide at about 10 p.m. and we drove for about half an hour to reach the observatory. The moment we stepped out onto those grounds, it was as though you were in a planetarium. I have never in my life seen stars like that. It felt like you could see for millions and millions and millions of miles. I mean, technically you could. I felt so small, so insignificant, and it was wonderful. Our guide had this lightsaber that he used. I don't even know what it was. It was like a torch with a laser beam or something. And even though you wouldn't stand right next to him necessarily, wherever he pointed with this laser beam, you knew exactly which star he was talking about because he could point directly at the stars. So he explained the stars to us, dissected the Milky Way with us. He showed us the star signs. He explained where they came from. He explained how back in the day people measured time by looking at the stars. All of these things I didn't know. Now and again when you're out in the mountains, you'll see a beautiful night sky, you'll see some shooting stars. Do you know how many shooting stars there are? It was like zoom, 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 zoom. This is not real. Now here's a little secret of mine. When I was a boy, I really wanted to be an astronaut. Being able to leave Earth and explore the universe, explore what's out there, has always fascinated me. And this idea of flying off Earth into the night sky still gives me goosebumps. I can't tell you what it is, it's just this fascination I have. And what was so great about that place was that there was no abstraction. Wherever you'd look, you'd just see stars because it was flat. So the entire night sky was above you. I don't know how else I can explain this. It just gets me so excited. And then the best thing came. On the grounds, they had these stationary telescopes. And of course, we got to look through them. And apart from seeing some really great micro galaxies, they'd aimed 2 telescopes at 2 planets. So the one planet we saw was Uranus. I still hate that name. There's no good way to say Uranus. 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 It's what it was. So we saw this blue ball, and then there you see a planet. You see the actual planet. And then my favorite part was the second planet, which was Saturn, the one with the rings. When I saw it, it took me a while to figure it out. But once I actually made out the image, I don't even know how to explain what that did with me. To see Saturn with its rings live. I just remember being so happy, so excited. I had tears in my eyes. I probably sound like the biggest nerd right now. In that moment, it was everything to me. After the actual tour, we sat down on these wooden blocks and we had hot chocolate. That moment, sitting in a desert, freezing cold, with your hot chocolate, underneath those stars, with a wonderful guy at your side, that moment was everything. When you're confronted with these forces of nature and science, you can't help but feel like there's energy everywhere, and that energy doesn't leave. Energy will always be around us. It has to be. Being connected to the moment, being connected to nature, being connected to your emotions, your breath, your feelings, it all came together somehow.